fellow fan geeks, it's your fangirl Tally, and it's time for an editor hubby request. We are going to take a look at the Making of Thunderbolts, asterisk, behind the scenes from Stream Wars. When we went and saw this, I loved it. It was funny and emotional and just actually a really great movie. It was just a really, really good movie. It was pretty much everything it promised to be, and then a little bit more, because it actually made me stop and think, which I did not expect from a Marvel movie. Because lately they've kind of been lacking in that. So let's do this!
That countdown of 3, 2, 1, go. And then, all hell breaks loose. Action!
That was the easy part.
Yeah. So here we're at the Merdeka 118, getting ready to do a real base jump off the second largest building in the world.
Because, yeah, that's a thing.
Okay.
Any stunt in
God.
any movie, this is amazing. How many times do you see someone throwing themselves off the building? It's strange how zen I feel.
3, 2, 1, go!
My ever-loving, never, no, not in a million years. I don't care what you put on my back. Or guarantee. Yep. At least it wasn't a pretty car.
So much fun. It was a really beautiful experience to make this movie.
Yeah.
This level of intensity is something that I haven't quite felt before.
Knowing we're going to be shooting in IMAX, that's something really exciting for us. It's about being truly immersed in every scene.
By the way,
We're able to...
there was a moment during this movie when I literally leaned over to Editor Hubby and said, Bucky's a badass. I need a t-shirt that says, Bucky's a badass. And I think that all of you need to comment below and let him know that we need Bucky's a badass merch.
use the absolute best new camera technology
Bucky's
for
a
it to be
badass.
truly IMAX.
Every single shot and every frame will speak for themselves.
It really
That was
excites
so
me.
bad. That's
Switches
the
on
kind
my
of
brain.
thing I'm talking about.
It makes everybody full of adrenaline. And it makes you so appreciative for each shot. Because you're like, yes, we all did that.
Yeah, it was kind of like that.
Full rehearsal.
At the beginning, Jake asked me, do you like heights? So I was like, I love heights.
We wanted to give the beginning of the movie a little more weight and a little bit more surprise and up the stakes.
So we decide we're going to go to Kuala Lumpur and go to the second tallest building on the planet and literally put Florence Pugh on the edge.
Let's do it. Yay, okay.
I've been excited about that since I read the first page of the script.
Disney Health and Safety just said no, and that's a very reasonable thing to say. It's not a zero-risk thing to attempt. And it's only because she believed in it so much, she took it upon herself to elevate it because she trusts our amazing team.
This rig behind us is the result of an incredible stunt team, which is really from the beginning set out to do something unlike anything we've ever done before. So this allows us to descend Florence herself off the second tallest building in the world.
Rolling camera.
Wow.
All camera feeding. Copy.
They built her a whole rig just for this one moment.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, say goodbye to the 120th floor,
Whatever we're
We
on.
shot Florence jumping off of that building in the morning and then went to another street and just blew up an entire floor of a building in the afternoon.
And background and action.
Wait, they actually blew it up.
Assignment is... Oh, wait, hang on. Assignment is complete.
I love that she took the guinea pig with her.
What else can we do?
You do realize neither of us are ever going to have a day like this ever again in our careers.
When do you jump off a giant building and then blow it up?
Yeah, this is whoop-ass music.
Oh my god. Yes!
It's getting so tense in here.
Incredible. That sounded so good, y'all.
You are both veterans of the MCU. What made it special to revisit your characters for Thunderbolts?
I mean, it's, you know, it's an extraordinary opportunity to play a character. We both played these characters in Black Widow, and we developed this relationship, and we planted these seeds, and then you never know, like, what's going to happen in the future, what Kevin Feige and Lou Esposito have in mind for the future, whatever. So it's just an incredible privilege and opportunity to be asked back and to do this again. And I think we went in, both of us, kind of guns a-blazing, trying to mine this relationship as deeply as we possibly could, and to pay off
They did a great
all of the
job
things we
with
set
that
up, and to plant seeds
father-daughter
for the
relationship,
future of who
about
these
how
people
it's
are
developed
and
and
how
what's
they
missing.
can affect each other going forward, and how they can need each other going forward.
They did a really
I think
great
also
job.
just on top of that, Jake really wanted this movie to be a film that anybody could watch without having watched any other characters' backstory movies. And while that, you know, was a great idea and really cool, I know that we both felt really defensive about the fact that, no, that might be true, but we really need a conversation about the fact that Natasha has gone.
Yeah.
And what that might be doing to both of these characters. And even though we're trying to create a movie that people don't need backstory, we need it. Our characters need it. And as actors, for us to know where we are at and where our story is going, it was just something that we both felt very, very protective of.
Yeah.
Did you have to prepare physically for your roles? And what type of training did you do?
Yes.
Some hot yoga. Did a lot of hot yoga. We had incredible, you know, we all trained, and, you know, not only with stunts, we had incredible trainers. You had to train a lot for when you were older, but you really did.
Yeah, I mean, that was a hard challenge because there's multiple body types that really only make sense for certain characters, right? So in the beginning, playing Bob, he's supposed to be kind of smaller, and I did as much with my body language as possible. But then also I worked with this trainer, Brendan, who really we worked hard to get him in a place that was really strong physically, but lean, so that it looked like he was kind of vacuum sealed. And then we literally had 2 weeks before his reveal, and at which point we thought there was going to be kind of a pretty serious reveal. So I was like, we'd finish the day at like 9, and then I'd go work out for like 2.5 hours, and then I'd work on lines, and I'd go to bed, and I'd wake up at like 5 in the morning. And I was like, it was really important to me because I was like, it irks me when I watch something and their power is dissonant to their physical presence, you know? And so I really wanted that to be as believable as possible. Obviously, powers can look and materialize in a lot of different ways, but it was important to me that there's some sort of thing in the serum that actually starts to kind of like metastasize within his body. And you don't see much of that on camera. What I did, but it really helped.
When you see it, it gets a reaction.
It does. It does.
And also when you're
You
doing
do
all
see
those
it.
stunts, which I hadn't had much experience with, it's really helpful to be able to have that stamina and be able to do it over and over and over again. So being literally strong and fit for that was like very, very important.
Yeah. And the reason why, for me, it goes, the reason why I really connected to the hot yoga as well is because, I did a lot of it, and I really all joked about it. But it's because, do you know what it is? It's a whole different training to Ava Star when in my previous movie Ant-Man and the Wasp, because in this one it's a control, and it's keeping control and doing all the positions in hot yoga and keeping focused, and it was this kind of different training and energy that I was connecting with a lot with this energy that I was bringing onto set with the training. So yeah, that
makes sense.
But I did a lot. But yeah.
It's punishing. I did that. That's insane.
And we all ate chicken, rice, protein, nutrients. Yeah, the lot.
Chicken rice.
Besides Marvel's signature action, there's a lot of humor in the film despite its darker tone.
It was fun.
As an actor, how important was it to you to have moments of levity in the story?
Very. When a movie takes itself too seriously, it can really be not fun. And part of the experience of being in a Marvel movie is like, let's have some fun. That's part of the experience. Is like, I'm going away from my home to have this 2-hour experience where I'm going to laugh and cry and feel all the emotions. And humor is an important part of our daily life to keep you feeling fresh and excited. So to me, it's very important.
Humor, definitely, of course, but also I think it's getting the audience to invest and to care about these people and these people together. And I think it's really interesting because I really do feel like everybody was a good fit. I mean, even on and off screen.
Mm-hmm.
And just personality-wise and mindset. And I think if you understand what these characters are trying to learn from or get through, then I think you're invested and you want to see them succeed.
Mm-hmm.
What impressed you both the most about the production and the crew?
Well, what surprised me the most, and delighted me the most, was the amount of people and departments it takes to put this kind of production together, and the expertise that comes to bear. And I was very I was awed by that fact, and that there are so many people bringing their absolute A game to this. It kind of feels very old Hollywood in a way, because there's so many, the props department and the stunts and the and costumes, and all of it is so well thought through and so layered with expertise that I was just, I bow down to all of it. It takes, it doesn't take a village. It takes like a city, a state, a country to put this thing together.
Wow. Yeah, I think what was so cool about this was how most of the stunts and effects were shot practically. There's very little CGI, which is quite unique for
I did
Marvel
not know
movie.
that.
So I think that was really cool to watch and impressive, and just if there was a helicopter in the sky in the scene, the helicopter was really there. Yeah.
What makes this band of heroes relatable?
Oh, that they make so many mistakes.
And they hate themselves.
And they're struggling to work with one another. They don't know how to share.
That's
They
true.
don't know how to
They don't know how to ask for help. They don't know how to ask for.
They also are just like they're so used to being such lone wolves that they don't know how to even communicate or how to have any etiquette. And I think there's something quite wonderful and charming about watching all of those what's the word, attributes
Yeah.
together. My brain.
No, it's great attributes.
Yeah.
You were like, what's the word? I was like, misfits?
Misfits.
Crazy people.
Crazy people.
Yeah, watch them try to team up, because they do team up despite their willful trying not to, and their willful need to believe that they are unlovable, unforgivable, unworkable in this world. They do wind up coming together.
As an actor, what was important for you to convey about your characters?
You do relate to the character in your own way, in your own self, because, at the end of the day, I'm not a ghost, so I can't, sit here and go, so I phased yesterday. Like, it's the emotional and complex, making these characters four-dimensional. It's connecting with what the character, what the struggles are of the characters, which is what, we want the audience to feel relatable. I can relate to my character. There's, when you have your guard up, there's, the idea of loneliness. There's also sometimes not believing you can deserve to be a hero, or forgiveness, or second chances. And I think, I definitely draw, personal experiences as an actor with who I'm playing. which you can start from, and that just starts from a real heartbeat in a real place.
Well said. Yeah, I think oftentimes you can end up doing almost like it's like telephone, where you kind of are inspired by these performances or these versions of stories that have been told already, and they're kind of echoes of something that is actually true. And so I really felt it was important to kind of try and remove those echoes from my kind of like landscape of architecture as I was trying to build Bob, and come from a place of truth, you know, and a place that was my own, which was I was lucky that was kind of welcomed in this circumstance, you know.
What was it like working with the director Jake Schreier?
Jake is very dry, but very funny and cautiously optimistic, I would say.
Cautiously optimistic is good.
He had like a really good handle on what this is, I guess, what this movie is, what the tone is, and what makes this movie, how is it funny and different than something like Guardians of the Galaxy, or how is it as real as something like Captain America Winter Soldier, and he found its own thing. Nothing's too much, or everything's just enough.
He had a very specific vision of what he wanted to make in terms of emotionally, and it wasn't always like, you know, he came at it from, this is not perfect. And anytime I've ever done a movie, no matter what the movie was or show was, which is, this isn't perfect yet, but we're going to make it as good as we can. And not like, I'm amazing, I'm really good, and I know what I'm doing. And so if you don't do it this way, it's not going to work. If you come at it that way, I'm always like, oh God. But if it's like that, it's always been a wonderful experience, and Jake is inherently that way. I think everybody had this feeling of like, oh my God, I think he's actually listening. Where like a lot of times you'll hear a director listen and you're like, I don't know if they heard anything I just said, and then the changes don't happen and you're like, oh, okay, whatever. Jake listens, he hears you. We were rehearsing and debating and coming up with that last scene until the day we did it, and it still wasn't perfect. You know, it worked. I mean, major changes that we were making because it just wasn't work. And then we kind of found the thing that clicked that last night in that hotel room we were all sitting in, where like, you know, it was just felt like we were going to blow up the movie, but that was the magic sauce, and we got it to a point that really worked. And,
wow.
Yeah, Jake allowed for
and a lot of I mean, he never lost. It's cool. It's a lot to do, and I think there's a lot of pressure, and so anyway, he's great.
I'm so grateful to have worked with Jake Schreier on this film. We couldn't have done this film if he hadn't been involved. His dedication to the grittiness, the tone, the rawness of the movie and of the story itself. He was devoted to character arc and development, and the story has a real shape in the film, which I think audiences are going to really respond to. There are characters to be properly rooting for in an emotional kind of way. And by the way, he straddles the world, Jake did in his direction, straddling the world of comedy and drama very expertly. I mean, very finely tuned. Amazing.
I think Jake is such a brilliant filmmaker and really brought his kind of, excellent taste and instincts to this, and is just an incredibly thoughtful, so detailed in his work, and I think it really kind of, the film is so much richer for his input.
Oh, it was amazing working with Jake. He, all of the things that we've said that we loved about making this movie, it was him that really argued for it and defended the themes of this movie. So it just was a huge honor to be able to do a Marvel movie in this way. And what was he like to work with? he's such a supporter. He really believes in every single person that he hires, and he just thought that we were all great. That's what was so brilliant, was like when we'd go on set and he would ask us to do something ridiculous, because sometimes you do have to be asked to do ridiculous things on sets like these. He'd be like, now I know, but can you just trust me because you're amazing and you'll sell it. And
Right?
Like, okay, I'll do the thing.
He did make us all feel very
Yeah,
loved.
so
And
loved.
it was genuine. Like, I think he says it many times in interviews, and I believe him every time he says it, he just says, like, why'd you want to do this movie? And he's like, "Man, this cast.
Yeah.
He's like, can you imagine having this cast together?
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh yeah, you really do love us.
Really
Like,
love
and
us.
that's
You
a beautiful
actually-
thing to walk onto set and know that you're going to be taken care of by a director in that way and not compromised for some other department. And so it was really nice.
Several of the actors have played their characters before. How did their character knowledge help you as a director?
I think part of it is just to have actors this good is always just a privilege as a director. It makes your job very
You
easy.
did a
But I think
really
also,
good
you know,
impression.
to make a good movie, you want to feel like not only that everyone brought their best and we had an amazing cast and crew on this film, but also that they brought something of themselves into it. And all of these actors care so deeply about their work and about the characters that they portrayed. And so it is that interesting dialogue, because in order to make a movie, you need to have a new conflict, a new want, a new need, a new arc for them to play, but it also needs to feel honest to the character that they've also brought to life. And so there was a lot of really interesting discussions in those kind of weeks of rehearsal beforehand, where we didn't really rehearse so much as just go through the script, really talk about where it was heading, like what it was establishing, and how they could sort of, you know, adjust it and bring things to it that made it feel more personal to them and to the character that they were so protective of.
I click leave on porch. Your subordinates will be reported to DoorDash HQ.
Alexi, it's me. Open up.
Yelena? Yelena!
Hi, Dad.
Sorry about the wait. It was on important call. Highly classified. Lot of work. Many irons in fire.
You feel fulfilled?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so full. So filled. But why do you ask this? What brings you here?
There is something wrong with me. An emptiness. I'm just drifting. And I don't have purpose. I thought throwing myself into work was the answer.
With your feet on the air, your head on the ground.
Oh no.
Who are you?
I'm Bob.
Who sent you, Bob?
Nobody. You were all sent?
Everyone here has done bad things. Shadow ops. Robbing government labs. Contract kills.
Yeah, so?
So, someone wants us gone. What the hell?
We're brought up with this belief that there are good guys and there are bad guys.
What's the plan?
This could get messy.
Something. Bucky's a badass! But eventually, you come to realize that there are bad guys and there are worse guys and nothing else. Look at you. So adorable.
Astrid!
She's bulletproof.
What happened to bulletproof? It's bulletproof-ish.
Is that Bucky?
Bucky being
That's not good.
a badass. Oh my god, guys, that was so awesome. Okay, comment below, let me know. Have you seen this yet? If not, why not? You should see it. It's awesome. Now, I have to be perfectly honest with you. I think the biggest difference between Thunderbolts and Suicide Squad is that they ended up working together and wanting to. Do you get what I'm saying? I don't know. Anyway, please comment below. Let me know. What did you think? As always, hit that like button. It really helps us out in the algorithm, and it makes a huge difference. If you're not already a fellow fan geek, please subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much for all of you for your support. It really, really means a lot to Editor Hubby and I, and thank you for it. Hit that notification bell with your notifications turned on so that you know every time we drop a new video. And guys, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.